Wanted to go over a few products that we've been adding to the mix in our turbo systems for the last year or so. The EX44 wastegate from Go Fast Bits, really nice, big volume body, and flows a lot of exhaust. We've seen a lot better boost control than the original Tile 44, and probably about on par with the Gen 5 Turbo Smart stuff, but you can see it's a lot more compact in size. The diaphragm area is a lot smaller. Just a really well put together, well thought out gate. Something that I really like is the, if you look at the flange, or the inlet here, the ID, and then the flange itself, the diameter, the ID is a lot bigger. So if you pick up a flange from Turbo Smart or Tile, you'll notice that the ID is going to be smaller. There's a bevel that actually comes up to meet, goes from the pipe to go down to meet the ID of the gate. So just a smaller opening. And with this, you can see the difference here. If you look at a Tile or a Turbo Smart, you'll notice this ring is a lot thicker. It's just a lot smaller ID, but flows a little bit better. We don't get the little ups and downs that we usually see with boost control. With the EX44 and the Coyote stuff, it's rock solid, perfect every time. Comes with some really robust flanges with lock nuts. It's really good quality components here. I don't know, the jury's still out. I kind of like Tile's design. I think they had one of the better deals, but this is a little bit more flexible. It gives you a little more wiggle room if you're trying to fit into a tight space, whereas the Tile stuff is on a pinned hinge, so it's not very flexible at all. Same thing with the discharge, larger diameter ID to match the discharge of the body. So just a ton of room in there and just better control overall. So we've been running those for about a year. And then we've recently started working with this. This is the SV52, also from Go Fast Bits. Really neat blow-off valve. The design is cool. It's if you ever welded one of these or one of the old school valves, you know the deal. You unbolt it, unpackage it, take the V-band off, and then you have to weld to the pipe. And then you have an O-ring that goes in there, and kind of a pain in the butt to mess with. But I like this because it's basically all one piece, and to weld it on, you'll notice looks like there's a bolt missing here for this hole. That bolt is actually here. So it allows you to, Go Fast Bits ships it that way. It allows you to take these other 4 bolts out without this thing flying apart. And it allows the whole thing to release, leaves the spring loaded, and allows you to go ahead and take this flange off, weld it, and then you can bolt it back together when you're done. So you pretty much hand your customer a blow-off valve pipe with blow-off valve attached. You don't have to worry about them losing the O-ring or buggering up the threads or anything like that. And basically when you're done putting it back together with these 4 and everything's fab, you take the center bolt out and move it to here. And there's a larger opening, and if you notice, it even says, it comes with a little tag, it says not missing screw. It's intentional. But you notice there's 4 different size screws here. So basically they give you some adjustment with the internal spring. You can kind of set the preload with different length bolts. So if you need a little bit more seat pressure, you can jack with that with the preload bolts here. That's pretty neat. A lot of wastegates, blow-off valves don't have the ability to adjust like that on the fly. You have to change the spring out. There is a bigger spring, but I don't think you'll ever need it. And if you do have a blow-off valve that's adjustable, it's usually with a stud and a nut. It looks kind of goofy, but man, just a really neat design. It's cool to see somebody changing the game a little bit when it comes to blow-off valve design. But anyway, we're going to start incorporating these. Next year you'll see exclusively this instead of some of the other brands that we've been using. It'll be an option. So anyway, check this stuff out, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask. See ya.